Welcome to Laser Focus, where I discuss all things laser cutting and engraving. I created this PU leather patch Christmas ornament in a previous video with a wood backing, but I also cut this version out of veg tan leather to try something a little bit more creative. In this video, I'm going to take this piece of leather through my full leather finishing process, which includes dyeing, painting, conditioning, and sealing. It's a process I've landed on through a lot of trial and error to get the order just right. And I'll show you a fun and easy way to transform this plain piece of leather into something vibrant and festive like this using a marbling technique that includes shaving cream. So stick around if you want to see it all come together. Let's get into it. Now, because the green dye I'm using is a little bit darker than I'd like, I'm going to start by diluting it. And because these dyes are water-based, this is super easy. You can just use water. I like to put my dyes in these little dropper bottles because it's just easier to use. And here I've got a plastic dropper and a little tube to mix in along with some water. So I'm just adding 10 drops of dye into the tube and then an equal part of water, so 10 drops. Then just a brief shake and it's ready to use. And now it's time to dye. Here's the Christmas ornament backing piece I had laser cut out of leather. I'm going to be using a marbling technique to dye both sides of it. First, I've got my shallow tray here. This is mostly so that I don't waste shaving cream since I only really need the very surface of it, but any container that fits your leather piece will do. Now I'm spreading some shaving cream into the tray and flattening the surface using this spatula and just checking to make sure that I have enough area to fit my leather piece. Now I've got my red dye here and I'm just placing some drops on the surface. Since I'm using only two colors, red and green, I'll eventually want the entire surface to be covered in dye, so I want to be generous here. Then I'm adding in drops of the green dye that I had diluted. I also decided to use some undiluted green dye just for some variation as well, straight from the dropper bottle. Now I'm using a knitting needle that I had on hand to swirl the colors together and get rid of any white spots. This is important because any areas where the shaving cream shows through won't dye your leather, and you'll get patches of undyed leather. We want to avoid that. Keep your needle or your toothpick or whatever you use near the very surface of the shaving cream to avoid bringing more shaving cream up to the surface and creating more white patches. You can see here that I've fully covered the surface with dye. There are no visible white areas, and that's what we want. Next, I'm using a pair of tweezers to gently lay the leather face down on the surface and using the knitting needle to get as much contact with the surface as I can. If you get air pockets underneath, those areas won't end up with any dye. There is a way to deal with that, and we'll do that in the next step, but for now, we want as much contact as possible. So just go nice and slow. Now I let it sit for 5 minutes to absorb the dye, and now I'm lifting it off with the tweezers and placing it down with the dyed area up. So we can see that there are some areas where the dye didn't reach. That's fine, that's to be expected. So now I'm going to use this spatula to just grab some sections from the shaving cream area and place them on the areas where we don't have any color. We want to cover all of our leather with dye. So once I've covered all the blank areas, I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes while I prep for dyeing the back of the leather. Now I'm going to reuse the same setup I have, but just refresh it a bit so that I can use it again for the back. So I'm adding a few drops more of the red and green dyes and swirling the colors together again. And when it's ready, I'm placing the leather on the surface again, this time with the back of the leather in contact with the shaving cream, and then letting it sit for another 5 minutes. Again, I'm repeating the same process of touching up any blank areas on the back with foam to make sure we don't have any blank patches. With solid shapes like this, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to need to do this step because it's difficult to get full contact with the foam. So again, just letting it sit for a few minutes. Now I'm using a squeegee to wipe off as much shaving cream as I can. And then I took the piece over to the sink and rinsed it very briefly, just for a few seconds in lukewarm water. This is just to get off any leftover foam. If you leave it under the tap longer, your dye is going to run right out, so make sure you're as quick as you can be. And then immediately after that, place it on some paper towels and let it dry overnight until it is fully dry. The next step is to add some details with leather paint to add a little bit of sparkle. We've got our marbled leather. It's pretty dried out, but that's okay because we're going to be conditioning it later. Because leather is flexible, we need paint specifically designed for it. These Angelus paints are amazing. They're flexible and designed for leather. I'm starting with red and green pearlescent paints. Now, I'm not an artist, so I'm just adding some very basic dots and snowflakes. But if you're more skilled, you could do some much more impressive things here. I'm just using this little tool to add some dispersed dots along the outer edges. Since the leather patch will sit in the middle of the backing, I only need to worry about the half an inch or so around the outer part of the circle. So just adding some red dots and then some green dots with a slightly larger tool. And next I used some sterling silver paint to add some snowflakes. I just used whatever tools I had on hand, and this is where you can get really creative and just use whatever you have. I had this silicone tipped thing that has this fine edge, so I just used this to make some snowflakes. I'm just checking as I go to make sure the snowflakes are visible with the patch in the middle. You can see that this one here wasn't going to be, so I added another above it. Now I'm painting the top of the ornament with a really thin brush around the hole where the string will go. And now it's time to leave this to dry and cure for a full 24 hours. Now I'm going to condition the leather to put some of the moisture back into it since we've dried it out quite a bit through this process. Here it is all dyed and painted, and before I condition it, I'm using a clean rag here to just wipe it down to remove any excess dye that's sitting on the surface. So just wipe down the front and the back and even the edges, and I'm putting a decent amount of pressure here. Leather is pretty tough, it can handle it. Next, I'm going to apply some neat's foot oil. This helps to put the moisture back into the leather. So I'm taking another clean rag and putting some neat's foot oil onto it, and then just applying the oil to the surface of the leather with a wiping motion. You want to apply a good amount, but not drench it. I'm also doing the edges. And now on the back, I'm using more of a dabbing motion because the back of the leather has a rougher texture. So apply a good amount of pressure and dab the oil into the back of the leather. And now let it dry for 24 hours. It needs to be completely dry before the next step, where we're going to be sealing the leather to protect it and lock in that dye. Here we are at our last step, sealing the leather. We've got our leather piece here, and it's a lot softer and more flexible because we've restored the moisture to it. So now it's time to lock the dye and the moisture in by applying a sealant. I'll be using this leather sheen, which I've been using for years. It works really well at preventing dye from rubbing off and protecting the leather. So again, I'm using a clean rag and just wiping on a coat over the surface. I usually wait a minute or two and then apply another coat. If this was jewelry or something where I really needed to prevent dye from rubbing off, I'd probably apply another proper coat after waiting a few hours. But for this ornament, it's going to be hanging on a tree, so I'm not really too worried about that. And then the back, I'm applying it the same way here as I did the neat's foot oil by dabbing with some pressure on the back. I found this to be the best way to get proper coverage. And finally, I'm just using this small paintbrush to apply a coat to the edge. It's going to dry clear, so we don't need to worry too much about excess. Just smooth it out as best you can. And now I'll let these dry for 8 hours. The one on the right is the sad one that I was experimenting on, but most of the sad parts are in the middle, so even if I put a leather patch on this one, it will look pretty good. As long as you don't see the back of it, which is atrocious. And there you have it, the finished leather piece. I love this marbling technique so much. There's so much you can do with it, and the colors come out so vibrant, and it's kind of fun. And the pearlescent paints just give it a little hint of shimmer. Here's the assembled ornament with the laser engraved PU leather patch. Check out the next video if you want to see the full project and get the free file.